This brings me to our second recommendation. Have a land use plan in place before making decisions about transformative mining projects. And so just to be clear, when I say that, I don't mean finish land use planning across the entire territory before making decisions or before any development can go forward. What I mean is that when a major development is proposed before the territory reviews or approves it, have a land use plan in place first to guide that project review. Because the alternative to this is just relying on project assessment, looking at a project one by one. And it's typically how things are done. And this is where an agency will look at a proposed project and decide if it should go forward or not, and if it does go forward, what conditions are attached to it. Maybe first, what do we mean by transformative projects? I think it depends on the project, and I think it depends where the project is proposed. But generally, you can think of a project that, if it went forward, could lead to those lasting transformative changes on a landscape. And then I guess we'll unpack land use planning next. If you're not familiar with it, it's a process for laying out a broad vision for the land and settling those big questions around development, like mines and roads. It provides that guidance for environmental review of projects. Right now, there's 2 completed regional plans in the Yukon, the North Yukon and the Peel watershed, and work on the Dawson land use plan is currently underway. So that's the general idea. Before I move on, I know there's a lot to this recommendation. There's a lot of nuance, and it's something that would be defined and guided by a policy that's co-created by First Nations and Yukon government. So land use planning is that much more comprehensive process. It sets out a vision. So we have a goal to work towards. It sets a framework that you can use for future environmental assessment. Land use planning gives us a really good understanding of a landscape, especially how much development it can withstand or not, what areas should be protected because they're especially sensitive. And even YESEB has said, this was from a recent review of the exploration road to the Tiger deposit. YESEB assessment does not and cannot address the matter of whether a project proposes an appropriate use of land.